Okay, I will call to order the September 12th, 2023 meeting of the Aubrey Municipal Development District at 6:01 p.m. Jesse Hour is present. Vicky Dunn is absent. Jack Hopper is absent. Mark Abernowski is present. Mike Browning is present. Holly Drew is present. Carolyn Cashin is present. Will you be as honest?
Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the glory. We thank you for the rain and the cooler temperatures. We ask for wisdom. We ask for your guidance in everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
on the flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Community announcements. Items of community interest may include recognizing citizens and staff for outstanding contributions to the community, a reminder about an upcoming event that is organized or sponsored by the governing body, and announcements of an imminent threat to public safety that has arisen after the posting of this agenda.
I'll announce that we've got the casino night coming up for the Chamber of Commerce, and I have flyers here on the table if you need those. We do have some tickets set aside for the MDD. If anybody staff MDD here wants to go, it's the 23rd. Just let me know so I can pull your tickets and get them to you. Because it should be a fun night. It's at the Redford's Gym. So also here's a sheet if your company or something wants to donate, or somebody might want to donate, they could probably still use some donation. So if y'all would just please let me know by the end of tonight or this week if you want to use any of those tickets. They did set aside some for us. So I know some of you can't go, but or had the tickets already, but and
That's you said it's Saturday, September 23rd.
yes, at I think it starts at 6, but it's at Redford's Gym. Sorry, let me look at the time. Yeah, 6 to 10. And it is there's a dinner serving, there's BYOB. So any peanut festival.
Peanut Festival October 2nd. We're sold out.
Congratulations.
Booths. We're sold out of booths. Everybody can come.
How is it gonna work?
So is there sponsorship still opportunity, or is that?
There are still sponsorships. Just go to our website and click on the Peanut Festival and you should be able to. We had a new one today, I think. Since you're in there.
Is there an online, I guess, agenda or entertainment and everything like details? All
I don't think she's gone that far yet to finalize everything for the day.
Oh,
The parade's at 10, and then I think they're meeting either tomorrow or one day next week, and they'll finalize the schedule, and then I'll have something.
All right, citizen input. I can't see the screen. Anybody in there?
No. Just
And I see no members of the general public. I'm assuming staff is not willing to make public input at this time. Consent items. Items placed on the consent agenda are considered routine in nature and non-controversial. The consent agenda can be acted upon in one motion. Items may be removed from the consent agenda by the request of board members or staff. Consideration and action on the following: minutes of the board of directors meeting from August 8th, 2023, and the monthly financial report covering August 2023.
the minutes up in case y'all didn't get to look at them. Did anybody get to look at them?
Under travel training, there's a small amount for Auburn Chamber.
Oh,
This
that's
is a
the
July
luncheons.
expense, so
That's the luncheons, the quarterly luncheons. I just put all the meetings I attend and pay for in
Cool.
there. You might need to pull up the financials on that document. You go all get to see the financials. Did you need me to pull them up? Okay.
for the chamber line item for our payments to them this fiscal year. We're still showing a current budget of 7,500. I thought we updated that. Does anybody else?
Um,
Thought we, because it was like, we felt it was a mistake. We went ahead and
no,
dispersed.
it's in there that 2,500 is the extra 25. We did pay them 10.
Well, I know, but like, I thought we did an amendment for the budget already. Because the budget number is not 10K.
Right, but it shows up over here in budget balance and Mike, I mean, I don't think he felt like it needed to be updated or amended, but it does show that 2,500 difference. So I don't think he was too concerned about it since it was not going over the bottom line. So I think that if we don't go over the bottom line, some of those line items, there's not necessarily budget amendment needed.
Okay.
Is that correct, Charles? If we don't go over the bottom line of our budget, if we have an adjustment in a line item that's higher than what was budgeted, we don't necessarily need to do an amendment. Okay.
The council likes to, so that they can keep everything straight, and you may do that in September.
Okay.
There will be a final budget.
When he does our financials.
Well, this month at the council meeting, there will be a final budget adjustment that he does, but
Oh.
he did say to me last week that he was not going to worry about individual lines.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
He's paying more attention to the bottom line.
Hi, come on. Have a seat. Oh, those are tech chairs. You can sit in any of these if you'd like. And this is one of our kids. So, yeah, so I don't think he'll adjust that one at the next, even in September, but that 2,500 that's in parentheses indicates that we did go over by that much.
Any other questions, comments on either of those documents?
We're looking pretty good on, if you look at profit and loss, revenue extension. This is fun part for me, but this one I don't know. Let's zoom in on these.
Control scroll up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even like while you're clicking on it, you click it.
Press control and then
And
use the
then-
wheel.
Thank you, because
I know,
you're
you're
right
right.
for you to do it. But if you go look right now, we've collected this much in taxes and then that much in our interest, so we're doing really good. Because that was what we kind of estimated, I think. Cool. So people are spending money. Right.
Do I hear a motion?
Make motion to approve. The monthly financial.
Uh,
And,
Consent agenda items?
yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll second.
Motion by Holly, second by Carolyn. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, staff report.
All right. Staff report is the copy that I gave you all in your packet, but also I did a little presentation I put together here for y'all, just because I think sometimes it's easier for me to just go over a few items with y'all. As we go on here, I'm not gonna worry about full screen if y'all are okay with that. So I'm gonna start up here with a few housekeeping items. This is my 120 days report summary. Just a few housekeeping items since the last meeting. We've made updates to the web maps and the website, and I'll show those to you shortly. And the TEDC workshop is Friday, September 22nd in Richardson from 8 to 4. I have heard from 2 people that are going, Mike and Holly. I did register y'all. You should get emails.
I got
So,
it.
okay, great. Yeah, the TEDC should send you Aubrey Chamber of Commerce Casino night. We talked about that. TML is in Dallas on October 4th to 5th, and I'm attending. Board training is with Pilot Point's Municipal Development District Board on Tuesday, October 17th from 5 to 8. New members are really encouraged to attend, or if you've never been to NDD board training, you're encouraged to attend. It is not a requirement, but we would really need everybody to be as informed as possible. We'll meet at the council chambers. I'll send y'all some more information on that, but dinner will be provided. Greg Glass with ED best practices will facilitate and cover mostly the MDD best practices, differences between MDDs and EDCs, what we're allowed to do that EDCs can't do, and what MDDs can do to bolster economic development, commercial real estate in their towns. And I will be attending the Texas Downtown Annual Conference, October 24th to 26th in Nacogdoches. And that's always a really good conference for some economic development tools and best practices and good things you can do for attracting target businesses, especially into your downtown and commercial corridor areas. So all of that, and we have come a long way since May 8th. We've gotten a lot done, and I've been working. I know a lot of times it's hard to see what I'm doing in the background because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is you know, online and doing things that we've got to do just to kind of move forward. We've done a lot to building. There's building there. The shed is gone, so we now have some new commercial areas in Aubrey to build on. So that's a good thing. Downtown and Highway 377 continue to be the most available areas for commercial space right now. Also, we will be seeing a lot of activity here soon on 377 in Spring Hill North area. So you want to watch out for those. In Aubrey, Pine Ridge, Aubrey Creek Estate, sorry, has 2 pad sites. Pine Ridge has 2 pad sites getting built. Leanne, do you have anything you'd like to add on those pad sites? Okay, I sent y'all a development report in your attachments. Y'all can look at those and see what those developments are that are coming, but those are some good commercial spots that should bring us some more general retail restaurants and maybe some office space as well. So this is kind of some things I've been working on, just things I want to, goals I want to set, and things that I think we as an NDD board have been working on but can continue to do together. And you all are kind of key to this role in building those relationships in our network because you all have connections that I may not have. So I want to continue to work on building relationships and connecting with those leaders and those who can help with Aubrey's economic development success, brokers, local landowners, anyone that is in the interest of bringing any kind of economic development or commercial business to Aubrey, as well as some things that we can do with an MDD from the standpoint of leisure, recreational, and other quality of life aspects. I want to continue meeting with stakeholders in the city and the ETJ and discuss what their role is or what it can be. And I want to build up, talk about building up Aubrey for not only retail restaurant, but what can we do to bring in jobs for employment? Is there an educational opportunity that could, relocate here, professional neighborhood services, small businesses, so forth. So it's time to start planning and building strategic relationships in a way that we can really regularly meet with folks. And I've talked with city manager Charles about this, and I have asked him if there's times he can come and sit down with some business leaders and or business owners, and we can just have coffee with them and kind of talk about what challenges they see, but also update them on some questions they may have, because there's still a lot of information out there that floats around that isn't always accurate. So I do have some people that have expressed wishing to meet with Charles and I to visit on what's going on in the city and what we can do to possibly assist for their business success. So I'll be getting with Charles soon on a couple of those. Is there any questions on that? Okay. Oh, and I spoke to the Chamber of Commerce in August, so that helped. So what direction do we take next? What's next on the list? Well, oops. We really need to, after all these housing developments are announced and now the ground is broken and dirt's turning, we're starting to get a lot of questions and inquiries. So I have 2 brokers who are coming tomorrow to talk to me about, look at the maps, talk about Aubrey, what does Aubrey need? So word's out and they're coming. So I'm trying my best to tell the story of what really Aubrey really needs and what's going to be best for Aubrey and what we are saturated with and what we could use more of. So this is all good to have these conversations and get these brokers in the room with us so they don't decide for us. And one thing that we want to try to still do is preserve Aubrey's strong heritage in agricultural industry and equestrian services, our construction businesses, and our natural resources. So we can do this in a really creative way. And I think, if we get creative, once we start working on, toward our comp plan and everything, there will be some things that we can provide ideas on. And we also want to think about reuse of some of these ranch facilities and infrastructures. If it's possible, let's keep them in place. Let's reuse them in a creative way. The entertainment industry for games and live entertainment such as VR or sports, pickleball, oh my gosh, pickleball and all these things are really taking hold, and that's the new wave in some development over even restaurants and retail. The entertainment centers and districts are important, and getting people out, so that's always good. So I think we have a lot of opportunities there if we can just get with these landowners and ranch owners and talk about what's the vision for the future. And as far as data tools, I am working on Placer AI and learning exact, but let me tell you, all that is a lot of information to absorb. Placer AI is going to be great for a few things that we need to know that we can use and keep in our back pockets for information when we have developers and brokers come. But also ZacTax, it's a little more confidential. Can't share that just because ZacTax is based off of comptroller data and personal business data, but we can at least see where is our tax coming from. And so as I learn more of that, we'll be able to kind of dissect it a little more. I work with Charles and Leanne on a lot of that. So getting tutorials, lots of tutorials. And then as far as available land and buildings, city ETJ corridor, continuing to monitor. If you see any signs go up, you see something, get listed, please let me know. I'm taking pictures, and on our map, it's not on our website finished yet. She has to update it, but we have it on our website with a pop-up section for showing what land and commercial spaces are available. So she's working on that based on what you got in my staff report. She'll be putting those in there right now. And primary goals in the next 3 to 6 months. The staff will continue working with city, and we'll be starting the RFP process for the strategic plan for economic development MDD and to complement the city comp plan. So we're also looking at we need to look at our own MDD property assets and decide what's the best use of it to help grow business for Aubrey, bring activity to the downtown area. Our little new pad site is one great example. If y'all have any ideas on that, we can certainly put that on the next agenda, but we do need to help bring and breathe some life into this area if we can, and maybe incubate businesses or help start a market. Who knows? Work on marketing campaign development, networking, social media, print promotions, and working on all of that, creating awareness about Aubrey's target markets, our existing businesses and so forth. I'm continuing to promote the MDD and ED initiatives by talking to businesses. We need to really get in front of some government officials, area government officials, and more civic groups. So the county, anybody that we think we would be a good strategic ally. We need to try and get meetings with those folks and start developing those relationships. And because we are part of a region, we are part of a large region that is growing, and we need to know what our neighbors are doing next door in terms of growth. So we can either piggyback on that, or maybe we have an asset in our community that's appropriate for a client that they can't serve, and they can think of offering. I'm capturing current photos, and I've got a photographer going around, gave her a long list of photos to take so we can get some good images, current images of Aubrey. Some of these I've taken with my iPhone, and they're like, only good for a few things. We definitely need to create a stronger online presence. So once our website and such gets updated, we'll be doing more of that. I want to increase business retention visits and doing more surveys. So we can, look at some of those forms we've got that we can use. And then I will want to create, I think we should create 1 or 2 specific incentive packages to attract target businesses to Aubrey. This doesn't mean this is just a package. You can say, we're willing to put this together. We're willing to, for this type of business, this type of opportunity. We have to have these things ready in our back pocket so that when that client walks through the door and it's the right client, we're ready to go. Because we are up against cities that are already ready to go. And we will lose business to them if we do not have packages ready in our mind.
Are you looking at this as MDD funded only, or in conjunction with city resources?
It can be, we can talk about packages that we can put with city resources, MDD. Can we start another grant for signs, or can we start, these are all things that we can talk about in future meetings, but to just be reactive is really how we're losing ground, because there are other cities that have all these incentives ready to go for specific types of businesses they want to attract, and they have buildings they're shoring up and getting fixed up so that a business comes in, they don't have to spend all that money. And we're in a position where we've got some things that it's definitely something I'm seeing happen repeatedly when I'm working with a certain broker on a certain project. We're just not able to really cut it. So we can work on these things. So that's definitely something that needs to be a primary goal. And then continue to research. I'm continuing to research grant opportunities that will maybe cushion some expenses or be an allocation of part of a project. If we qualify for a federal grant, or if we're qualifying for some kind of public-private funding. If there's a third-party partner we can bring in for a certain type of grant in a project, I'm pursuing those opportunities as well. And I bring them to, if it's something I think Leanne could benefit from the Public Works, she and I talk about it, see if it's a fit. If it's something that's parks and leisure, quality of life, community enhancement, I'm talking with Leanne and Kurt about that too. There is one opportunity I may be bringing to y'all in October if I can find a third party to help us fund it. So I'll more on that later, but then just building awareness of our targeted improvement grant and encouraging businesses to renovate, restore, build, because some of these buildings do need help. The lending is really tight right now. I will tell you that. It's tough for a business that's not got a lot of income right now to do any lending and financing. So our grant helps for smaller projects, but for the bigger ones, it's tough.
Aubrey Dental, or the dental, is that still in business?
I just went and visited them the other day.
You did, okay.
They're really nice. So we're excited to get our little basket. I've been doing business visits too, so. And then how to get it all done. I know it's overwhelming when I do these little slides. I look at it and I go, wow, that sounds so good, but it's a lot of work. So again, we just got to be the cheerleaders for Aubrey. We've got to be positive. There's a lot of things we may hear out there. We need to be the voice of, positivity and encouragement. And I think it's time to roll up our sleeves and we can work together, the city staff, landowners, stakeholders, partners, and we can, work towards this quality of life, employment opportunities, and small town community connections that makes Aubrey so special. So, and they want to keep that connection, but I think it takes getting involved. It takes opportunities for people to get involved, into the community to come together. So, And then I think that's really it. I just want us to utilize our opportunities with our property here and our other, our buildings, so that we can help bring the community together. So hopefully we will start seeing some good weather that we could actually want to be able to be out. I'm not too sure that's anything anyone has wanted to do. So, are there any questions? I kind of threw a lot at you, but
That was great.
You want us to accept?
It's not an act.
because we pulled it out separate from consent.
I'll make a motion that we accept the staff report. Is that what you want to do?
We didn't put it under consent.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's also not under new business. You have to do that.
I went over this agenda with Alicia, so she pulled it.
I don't think you necessarily have to take any action on the
Okay.
staff report. It's just there to be
Okay.
provided, so.
All right,
Thank you.
unless I ask them to do something, right?
Right,
Which I did, yeah, okay. Then you don't
So,
have to.
no action needed, discussion. All right, item number 1 under new business, consideration action regarding the top of building sign.
All right, so that is, what's consent, I didn't that, I didn't send. All right, so that's our website. That's, all right, so this is the drawing that she came up with after we had discussed with Holly and Carolyn, some ideas for the top of the building, because the chamber does not want to put the sign at the top of the building, so they're gonna put theirs when I get one over here. So we felt like we needed something that says, hey, you're here. So rather than a big mural and everything, she sat down with Carolyn and Holly. I will pass this around if you have any edits or comments to make on it. But based on everything she heard, we felt like this kind of also complements our sign down here with the shadowing, and
Mhm.
so if you have some feedback or comments. Oh, she could put one in there, but you can write on that sheet if you have an edit.
I would think we could put a comma up there,
Yeah,
or we could just say welcome to Aubrey, make Aubrey bigger. Drop the Texas. The other thing, I think we might want to
there's
take a
not
quick,
another
picture.
offer, is there?
Not the state.
Nah, they know what they are.
I mean, we're close to.
Just
Oklahoma, we're
just
not that
put any
close.
comments on that sheet, because I think that's gonna be.
And then I might suggest we do a quick field trip outside, turn the lights on and see how wide.
It probably would look good if we balance the Aubrey centered, the welcome
To Aubrey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Make it longer, like,
and then the welcome could be a little bit bigger too.
okay,
Will
you write that on there, please? And then I'll get with her.
Is that right, you're not, I mean, you don't think that's
Okay.
okay?
yeah.
I like the black with the black building. We discussed in our meeting. One of the things was when we voted to do this outside, it was to make it in conjunction with the city hall so that it looked like they were in the same place. So I like this. I think, I mean, it needs some work,
Is
but I
that
love
gray,
fact that
the
it's
shading,
space.
back shading is gray?
Yes.
Okay.
We went in to stay with the logo here.
And like you said, were there lights up there? So
There are.
like,
Yes, there are lights, and all these night, you'll see them on. It's pretty lit up at night. That top of that building is
Yeah.
like one big white wall. So it's well lit, and there's a light that shines on it, so.
This looks like, now I just have a question, and you may know or may not. Is this just painted, or it almost looks like it's got a, two-dimensional?
It's painted.
It's painted. She can do the, that looks good.
Yeah,
And it looks like the price is 600 for that.
yeah,
Probably very.
yeah.
And that'll be lasting, right?
What kind of paint?
Yeah, she's, I'm not sure,
Carolyn, were you saying that?
but she knows what to use, because she does these on big buildings all the time, so she'll use most likely.
That's what
A
I.
higher grade.
Yeah, really saying that.
That's gonna get all sorts of western sun.
Yeah, she'll use it.
I mean, you know, I go with that.
And she just needed to know the color of the white paint that we had used on the building, and the kind I didn't know. I figured somebody has it, but
Aubrey check to
That
get.
was what I'm.
just to
Ooh.
see it.
Serious on that.
Incorporates it, write it out, so gives it us food space to open it.
The DTX would probably definitely have to have a comma.
What's that?
For DTX would probably definitely have to have a comma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So,
so what I'm gonna do is, if the agenda suggestion said, I'm gonna run it by the chamber staff and city staff, Charles and Jana, just to make sure everything's all,
Yeah.
everybody's in agreement, and then, but I don't think, are you in agreement, Charles? I don't think Jana is, I think Jana will like it. I haven't had a chance to show it to her, but
is there a way that if we take that markup, that we can't go ahead and make action and approval on it based on a?
Oh, yeah.
Rather than having to wait another month
No,
to
you-
look at another drawing.
that's what I suggested,
That's what-
if y'all just will
You
allow.
want to step
me
outside and see if the lights have light up the building enough right now? It's
Okay.
it's kind of cloudy.
It's on a timer, so it won't be on. You have to wait
Even
till
with the
you,
switch.
I can promise you it's bright.
And
I know it's bright. I just want to make sure like
Yeah.
left,
Oh,
right.
yeah, yeah, I think so, and I'll probably, I can take a picture of it at night to show her for scale so that she knows what parts won't light up.
I'm not a fan of abbreviations on an official sign, that's just me.
So no Texas or Texas.
I've tried to eliminate abbreviations from everything.
Oh, so you just like operate.
It's all in Texas.
Oh, you-
I'm partial.
You like the Texas?
So
Okay,
do you put a comment there? That was my question.
yeah, no or yes?
So what are we talking
Comma, I
about?
would probably put a comma.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me, I'm not a big fan of, abbreviations when it comes to official things like signs and badges and logos.
Okay.
When we redid the.
So get rid of the text.
We took out city of, and we just said Aubrey, Texas,
Okay.
and that's who we are, we're Aubrey, Texas. And we spelled out Texas, the original, one of the first logos we got back had it as TX. And we did not like the TX, that was not, it's. An abbreviation is abbreviation, it's like a contraction, it's a shortening of what we're talking about. To me,
We are Texas.
Right.
that, you know,
So you think you leave Aubrey, comma, Texas? I would.
that's me, I
just like it.
I like the word.
I'm in the dark.
It's not like you're trying to, spell the name of a really long city,
Savannah.
Albuquerque. You're Albuquerque, and you can just put Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. As long as there's a comment, I mean, but that was.
Yeah.
That's all. Throw me on.
Thank you.
And I-
Now I just have one more person to ask. I'll show it to Janet tomorrow, but I don't think they've made a decision. at this time.
If they're not doing anything on it, I mean, we have the building, but that's only gonna help the chamber.
Oh,
To have something saying, welcome to Aubrey, Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I just know they were not wanting their logo.
Well, I think it's better to make them multi-purpose view of this building at any time or something new. That could stay regardless.
If you're driving
Down.
by 35 or whatever, you can see it.
Yeah.
You make the turn from Sherman on the main street,
You can,
you're gonna see it.
yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve. Consider to approve the building. sign. They started on.
Did you want to put anything in there about the comma?
With the revision.
With the revisions that were made on the picture. Thank you.
No worries. All right, motion by Holly,
I'll second that.
second by Mike. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay.
Consideration action regarding 2023-2024 administrative agreement with the city of Albury.
Alright. So. Okay. You all got the agreement that was. In the packet, So this is
In our local one.
in their local agreement where we pay for the services we get from Mike. And any assistance from city secretary and city staff, so. It's the same agreement as last year from. I do not believe anything's changed. $12.50 a month, $15,000 a year. And it's worth every penny because there's no way I would have been able to keep up with all those financials and everything else. That is, Mike is like, it's amazing. Great.
Mike, Mark, Holly, I know this is probably your first time addressing us. Any questions on this or how, why?
No,
No, I read through the document for the meeting and it seems straightforward. I don't really have a lot of questions. If it's something you'd like before in the past, see value. I certainly see value.
Yeah, the amounts changed over the years. We've done different stuff, but it's been at 15,000. I want to say 3 years, 2 years for sure.
Probably, we reduced it when we got our first executive director, and then it stayed pretty low for that.
Right, fair motion.
I make a motion that we accept the interlocal agreement for the city of Aubrey and that Aubrey MBA.
Alicia, do we need to have anything about like executing the document?
No, you can just approve it
Cool.
in your motion.
I've got it here for you to sign.
Holly. All right, motion by Carolyn, second by Holly, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Consideration and action accepting the resignation of Director Hopper from place 3.
Hold on that last one, you seconded, right? Holly?
Holly did, yes.
Okay. Let's see, get back here. Yes, I don't have the. You all received the letter in
Yes.
the email, so this is what we have here. Staff recommends accepting the resignation effective September 1st. For Director of Operating DD in place 3, whose term is ending September 1st. 23rd.
I'll say before we do that, I appreciate all of Jack's contributions over the years. He's been a very valuable member of this board. And I wish him well.
Essentially, his term was ending. Or was it for renewal or no?
He had 1 year left,
Oh, yeah.
so.
Okay.
So then that should have been 20.
His resignation was effective 23.
September 30th, 2023 or 2024, right? I think that's why Mike,
Yeah.
That's why I was.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, the next item will explain his term to 2024, sorry.
Okay.
This is just about the resignation and when it was effective.
all right, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to accept the resignation from Jack.
I'll second.
Motion by Mike, second by Mark. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Consideration review, new appointment for place 3 for the remainder of the term expiring September 30th, 2024.
Here's where his term, it shows that his term expired September 30th of 2024, so we need to review the applicant. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, there, no, it's right here, sorry. I have it. So Erin Bogar had applied last time. She's also here with us today. And y'all all had reviewed her last time, so I'm just giving y'all this to review her application again, if you have questions. That she was not able to attend last night, however, she was still interested in serving, and we thank you for
coming.
reaching out to coming.
Anything you want to tell us about yourself? Right on the spot.
I love Aubrey, that's what we
Well, you're pretty involved, I think, so.
I love everything. My family and I moved here in 2014. So my son has been able to start Aubrey school in 1st grade, and now he's a junior at the high school. We didn't know when we moved here how long we'd be here. I didn't really have a hometown growing up. I didn't know what that was like. I was my family, we were missionaries, so we moved around a lot. And so settling down and, getting roots in the ground in a small town, because my husband grew up in Florida, it was a little bit of a foreign feeling to us. But since then, we've had a 2-year-old, and now he's at the early bird learning center. And I've, kind of plugged in several different capacities in the community, because I've loved serving and facilitating connections. So I know growth is a huge source of contention, and I'm preaching as a choir. I know it. But having a group of servants that are transparent, that care about the growth and want to be proactive, I think it's absolutely critical. So kind of my stance.
Thanks for fine. This is the only applicant, right?
Yes.
He is a city resident, there's room for, obviously, a resident can serve all 7 spots. And we are now at 2 members that are ETJ.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to recommend Aaron Bogart to play replace Jack Hopper, placer.
I'll second.
Motion by Holly, second by Mike. All in favor? The motion carries 5-0. Thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you. Look at that.
So you'll go, your name and recommendation will go before council on the 24th. And you don't have to attend the meeting. You're welcome to attend that council meeting, but it's not required. And they'll review it and then they'll accept the recommendation or not, but mostly they do. And 28. Oh, why don't I have the 20? Oh, last one is the 24th. Sorry, 28, and it's at 6 o'clock over here. Okay. Thank you, Leanne. I'm having this meet 4 days early. That's not good. Okay.
So our meetings are second Tuesday of every month. City council is 4th Thursday of almost every month. There are some changes around the holidays, but
Do most of you attend the city meetings as well? In person?
usually just 1 or 2 of us attend. The last
You can
meeting I could do
attend
3.
any if you want to, and you can
Sure.
attend planning and zoning. It's really up to your schedule and and if there is an NDD topic, we encourage attendance for sure.
I used to go to them, and then I was doing the Zoom, but this would be a protected time frame.
Yeah.
It'd be Tuesday, 6 p.m.
And then, like she was saying earlier, the October the 17th would be a good one. Put down.
Right.
That's a PowerPoint
The
with
training.
Denise.
Yes, Denise Moore. Well, no, she and I are coordinating with the trainer,
Okay.
Greg Last, who's doing that. So she and I are going over with Greg the modules to use for the training, because we have similar needs for some of the board training. So,
Okay.
and I'll be sending more information out, but once you're approved, you'll get official city email, and then you'll get an email from Jenny Huckabee on how to set that up. You'll have trainings you have to do. By the way, if you're going to the TEDC training on the 22nd, that does qualify as your Public Information Act training and your Open Meetings Act training. If you stay for the whole time, you can get those certifications at that meeting. Just so y'all know, if you didn't make the online training that I asked everybody to do, because we want everybody to kind of stay fresh on those trainings, because sometimes legislature changes some things.
Sometimes.
So every year we should all be trying to refresh. So those are online as well if you missed something. So okay. Does that answer most of your questions or? Okay. I'm sure you have more, and you can call me and email me. Okay.
All right. Item number 5, consideration and action regarding electing a president, vice president, and secretary for 1-year terms of office expiring September 30th, 2024, and designating those individuals assigned for funds for banking and financial accounts.
All right. So I went over this with our attorney Alicia, and we determined that I heard from these 5 individuals who are willing to serve in an officer capacity. So when you all start, we can take a nomination from the floor for each position and vote on each position and go down from there. So, you also, if for some reason you change your mind tonight, you say, hey, I will serve in an officer position. You can nominate yourself, or you can speak up now and say, hey, I'll put my name on the list.
So is it open for nomination?
Yes,
So
yes,
Mark,
we'll do that.
Mark, are you interested?
Yeah, no pressure.
I'll be the hot dog.
Yeah, that's okay. Mark and I did, I talked to each one of these, so that's all good.
Well,
I just
then,
want
I'll
to,
nominate Vicky Dunn to be president of MDD next year.
I nominate Holly Drew to be president next year.
now y'all have to go a little slow, because I gotta write this down. I'm gonna make sure I get this. Okay. So. Alicia, do I need to do these for them in terms of the election?
So there will have to be an official motion and second. You have 2 nominations, so however. If it's a race to motions, I'm not, I don't know how you want to handle that, but once you have your nominations, you do need to have a motion and a second and go through the voting process for each position.
Okay, so, but I'm saying, do I need to facilitate this part?
No, I don't think you need to, this is just still normal process that Jesse as chair can still
Okay,
run the meeting.
so Vicky nominated by Jesse and Drew nominated by Bill. Okay. No, we gotta vote. We're gonna go by each one.
I'm
We're
sorry,
gonna do them one at a time.
all right.
We do one at a time.
So all in favor of Vicky serving as president next year?
One more question. Are there any questions or discussions allowed to talk to? the
Absolutely,
candidates
yes.
Or anything like that?
I have no problem with it.
Okay. So, I mean, because I'm new
Mhm.
to the board, this is my first serving, I just wanted to gather before this meeting, I had not had anyone in the room really. So tell me, how long have you worked, Jesse, for, as far as a, for the board and your official capacity?
Go back, I want to say it was 2018 that I sat on the board. And we've gone to most of the TMLs in between. Vicky's time predates me. That's fine. Yeah, well, you asked me, so Vicky is a past president of this board, and has been an officer of the board for probably all of the last 7 years, if not before. She was president prior to Carolyn's presidency, which is about the same time you started.
There were some other couple in the first couple of years. We're both here about 10 years.
Okay.
Can't remember who, there was a board when we came on, it was older. Georgette.
And the terms of 1 year, correct?
Yeah, officers are elected every year.
And I know you were within the last few months of that.
Very long, but I'm learning.
And would you be able to, I guess, you have any questions about the role or anything?
I do have questions, and I think, now that there's an executive director, they can guide us in the right direction. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be questions, and I think going to these conferences is gonna be very helpful and beneficial.
Right.
So it's gonna be learning curve, but I'm willing to do it, I guess. Not, I guess.
Yes.
Not easy.
Okay, well, this,
Your mom is totally.
I don't think we have any questions. I just wanted to, try to get a feel and talk to, of course,
For sure. Yeah.
I'm not here to really talk with her specifically. But,
Yeah, she's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and has kind of been the unofficial record keeper of this board for as long as she's been on it, and you as well. But,
Yeah. I have 3 binders each from Carolyn and from Vicky that are in my office. So there's lots of history and information for anyone who runs for any position and holds any office position.
Yeah.
I can look it up for you.
That's nice. And that's what I think it would be a wealth of knowledge to be able to learn, with Carolyn and Vicky and Jesse be on the board as well, so we can all learn together.
Well, it's always good to have new people and new philosophies, because everybody that brings new into any board or anything brings a different avenue and look that's fresh, where sometimes if you've been there a while, you've gotten used to status quo.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Burnout is new.
That's answers anything that. If anyone else.
All right.
I don't have any questions.
Holly, you're good?
We'll move the vote. or-
And just so y'all know, reminder. Abstaining from votes is a no, and you can vote for yourself. It is not this is not like high school popularity contest. So it's, just want to remind y'all of that.
Mhm.
But you do need a motion and a second.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta get that part. Thank you.
All right, so then I'll make a motion for Vicky Dunn to be president in 2023 to 2024.
I'll go ahead and second that.
Motion by Jesse, second by Mark. All in favor? All opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, motion fails 2-3 with directors Drew. Mark, I can get your last name.
Brian.
Drew, Browning, and Cashin opposed. Give me just a second to catch up on notes. Do I hear a motion? Well, that motion failed, right? So now we're time
Right.
for another motion.
Oh,
That's correct.
Make a motion that we move forward with.
well, you need to make a motion to nominate. You nominated Holly.
Yeah, she already made the motion, so you just need a second.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
yeah.
So
Just-
the
wait.
nomination is different than the motion. So we had a nomination, but you need the actual formal motion
Right.
now that the vote on Vicky failed. So that's where you're at right now.
So
You
we're
need the
making
formal
a-
motion.
Another,
Another motion.
I make a motion for Holly Drew for president.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion by Carolyn and a second by Mike. All in favor? All opposed?
I'm abstaining.
All right, so the motion passes 3-1. Howard is opposed. Abernowski is an abstention. All right, do we have any nominations for the position of vice president?
Wait, no. On the president, don't we need? So I gotta make sure I know. So motion was made by Cashin. Browning, we didn't have, I didn't see who raised their
Yeah,
hand, sorry.
Yeah, motion
voted
passes
for-
3-1. Motion passes 3-1. The
Drew,
opposing was me
okay,
and Mark abstained.
thank you, sorry.
He is gonna-
I just.
Yeah, you'll have it on the
don't know what
recording if
happened
you
to
got
my
Mhm.
brain. Okay,
Well, you kind of.
I was writing down the names and I got lost on the counts, okay.
Right. Do we have a nomination for vice president?
Make the nomination for hearing passions. I need the nom.
Yeah.
I nominate Vicky to serve as vice president again. Anyone else?
I'm not gonna nominate myself.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
The motion to nominate or to nominate Karen Cashin for vice president.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Holly, a second by Mike. All in favor? All opposed? Mark, are you abstaining? Motion passes 3-1. Our opposing, Abernowski abstaining. Do I have any nominations for the position of secretary? And any questions about what those duties entail?
Are you ready for the motion?
I asked for a nomination, and then I have questions as well, so I'm gonna let the newer folks,
Well, I indicated I would be willing to serve, obviously, I'm president and the other one, I'm going a copious note taker. But it's a lot because there's.
Officially, the secretary through the bylaws is responsible for the meeting minutes. Meeting minutes are typically handled by city staff. It's part of what the 15,000 goes for. If we don't have an executive director here, city secretaries will actually, or city secretary or her assistant will, file that as necessary. The other thing for the 3 officers is they'll be the ones that typically, they'll be the ones that sign like checks.
And any kind of documentation like this, if say Jesse wasn't here tonight, I'd have to have the next officer in line. And so that's really what the positions are. And we have someone writing our checks for the city now, so that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, so I mean, technically you are responsible for it. So I mean, I would say if you can follow along the meeting, take notes. Like I keep track of who voted for what. I do that at meetings where I'm not an officer. So I mean, it's kind of a habit for me.
But they're actually gonna be generated from the Zoom
Yeah.
and through Saturday.
So you don't have to sit and type out a lot.
No, I will type up the minutes and then I run them by the secretary and say, did you have any other different minutes, notes, whatever that I missed, check mine, because this is how I do this. And then I watch the Zoom and make sure I'm reading my writing correctly, so.
Well, I indicated that I would serve if there was a nomination. I'm not seeking a nomination. If there's a need for it and it's on the board, I would be willing to serve, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so.
Nominations, I nominate Mike Brown. Your resume was very impressive. Yes, we should watch your board.
All right, so we have a nomination. Is there another nomination for this position of secretary?
You sure you don't want to serve, Mark?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
His name's not on
I know it's very out there.
Not this go.
I hear a motion.
I made the nomination.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion for Mike Browning to be the secretary.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Holly, second by Mark. All in favor? Mike, are you choosing to abstain? That's fine. Hey, I abstained when I was.
Okay.
You can, you don't have to.
Second by.
All right. Second by, motion by Holly, second by Mark. The
Okay.
motion passes 4-0 with Mike abstaining.
All right.
All the officers have to sign for fun, too, because if somebody out and needs that sign, there's always, I mean, whoever can get that sign that second.
Okay.
Right.
They'll bring it, go to Jenny will notify them and say, sign or
Yeah.
the bank and stuff.
And Mike English handles all of our financial stuff, so he usually does all the check bricks and, Charles signs checks. No, Mike signs, well, most of the stuff's done by P card. Which you're gonna be taken care of in terms of secretary work. It'll just be show up. We need this stuff, which, like I said, at the end of the meetings, when we have minutes, that y'all approved. I usually print out done, we'll sign it, I turn it in to Jenny, the secretary, so. It's pretty simple that way.
During staff reports, did you want to bring up anything like the tree?
Oh, well, and I did want to show y'all just real quick, the maps that I did get done, and I'm sorry, thank you, but yeah, I meant to bring that back. During staff report, I prepared to pull up these things for you, but, this is our website, just if y'all didn't know and hadn't looked at it in a while. We're updating it and working with Melissa McDormand, and she did go ahead and put in some of those updated maps that we've done. Which, this is the map company, the flyer view that you all have, paid for. And so the, city limits map and EPJ map, so we have a disclaimer on every map. PDF's very dull, it's kind of blurry, but disclaimer says these are all subject to change, always check with the development department. So, zoning map, got that updated. And again, just more disclaimers on it. I will be getting some of these printed, just
How
on
recent is that zoning map?
March 28th is
Okay.
what it says. 18. Yeah. March 27th, 2018 is the last time. So as we get other things changed, that'll change and we'll update it. But this is on our website now, just so y'all know. So that way, when I have a broker or someone asking me questions about that, I can say, here it's on our website, or I'm sending them a file that tells them, you know, how many house tops in these different subdivisions and so forth. So that's getting updated. And then I'll show you to go back down. The other page that I'm working on with her is the businesses. Obviously, we've got a lot. I'll put the story map once it's finished. We'll embed the story map here with the pictures of the business fronts, but like right now it lists all the different businesses, so that's nice. Nice feature. And then we have a feature sheet. We'll be getting our data and demographics updated as things change, but right now it's all good and updated. I went ahead and included what we had. Unless something here has changed that I'm unaware of.
Can I ask a question? You've got incentives with dollars. Could we not have grants on there available too? Look at what's in there. Isn't that?
So we have incentives policy, property.
But on ours, we ought to have the MDD grant
Well,
opportunities.
I think that's one of my changes I gave her, is I want her to embed our targeted improvement grant, and so I'll have her embed those. But like right now, what this does is it just takes you to the city's pages that are
On the same.
on the same thing. So there's still some stuff we have to get done. We just haven't had a chance to get it all finished. So as far as this page right here, what she's gonna do a feature, we haven't got it done yet, that this will flip over and give you the information, just the highlights. But like, for instance, this pops up that pops up that pops up that. So we can, if you hover over this, the card would flip and it would give you some stats on that on our homepage. So just, a little more interactive features. And the maps, again, she put on there board of directors information, resources information, who's who at the city, school district, who they can call if they have certain questions. So I had her make a QR code that goes to our website that I'll have printed on the front and back side of. I'm getting a map printed front back of this 23 by 29 in size. I believe they're going to fold it, and I'm going to have her put the QR code on the map so that people, if I give it to a broker or something, they want to go to our website, they can click the QR code. And then where is the website is live? Yes, it's always been live. It was just outdated and now it's so but fast facts. So the fast facts page is ready to go. I got the better version of this photo. It looks much better, it's clearer, so put that on there. And we have down here, I'm still working on some copy that needs updating, but I changed out some photos. Again, once my professional photographer gets photos back, they'll look at it. But this information, I'm working with city staff just to verify a few things about this information, because if you look, I don't know if it's gonna zoom very well. It's a little outdated on some of this, and I think, we can enhance the information about Aubrey a little bit better. You know, the shopping and enhance local a little bit more, I think, when this was done.
Maybe some recreation availabilities or things that come
Yes.
as well, like the Peanut Festival. I was real surprised.
Oh, that's over on this, it is on there.
It's the biggest money they bring in to Aubrey was when Mark had a business go in, the tulip farm. They made more money, bring in more people when that tulip farm, all the restaurants profited, everybody was the biggest, that shocked everybody.
Right.
And the tulip farm brings that many people in.
Well, I know Denton Convention Visor Bureau sold it in their group tours, and they would go to bus ABA. And every year that they would sell that and horse country tours, bus loads of people to come and promote it. And so group tour managers would plan bus tours to come. So
Maybe we'll have some more restaurants by March.
yeah.
I
Well-
drove out there, the first time and couldn't get in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's crazy.
It is strawberry, very much.
So those are again, economic development opportunities that, you know, if we had more of those boutique type farms and so forth, is that an opportunity? So anyway, those are the things I wanted to show y'all. And then we need to talk about the tree. Leanne mentioned this once. We have the mistletoe in the trees on our lot here. Jesse looked at it with a friend that does arborist stuff, and the mistletoe can be removed. He said it just wasn't a printed estimate, but it was just a glance at estimate, like $1,500 to fix this one tree, but there's two of them. So I don't know if you had, he sent me the information that you could look at it, but
Why would they take it rid of the mistletoe? I'm curious.
it'll kill the tree.
It'll kill the tree.
It'll take over and kill the tree, and the tree won't last. But if we kill it off, it has much longer lifespan.
Is that like when they do $1,500, that when taking it, bagging it, and like cleaning it, with scissors every time and all that?
Again, just a friend, I didn't want to impose on his, I said, just give me a quick, because we'd heard all sorts of like huge numbers, and I was like, hey, what's it really gonna be? He's like, well, you have to cut some of it back and remove it. You wouldn't have to cut everything back. He is not a fan of like injections. He didn't believe in them very good.
Probably sell it for Christmas and New Year.
There you go.
Their own. I mean, when I was growing up, with everybody would cut mistletoe
Yeah.
for all the decorations.
We give it for the Christmas tree lighting.
There you go. We'll just
New
put it
Year,
this
you know, all the New Year cards.
He told me what he thought it might roughly be, and I was like, that doesn't sound near as bad. We should probably pursue that if it extends the life of that tree a few years and it doesn't cost a ton. I mean, it'd be a lot for like, personal budget, but we don't have a lot of shade here. And for those that don't know, we're probably gonna lose that tree over here, right? Is that still?
We probably won't lose it to the tank, because we're gonna be able to fill in place, hopefully, we're waiting on some data. But we might lose it to missiles, because it's full of this way. We need to look at
Yeah,
that.
and tree shepherds can come out and do a quote too if we wanted to get quotes, but tree shepherds does work in the area. But I just know it is a process to get rid of this.
Call
I
for,
was gonna say, is there any, is the,
Anybody in Aubrey?
well, that, it's, is there a success rate if you get rid of the mistletoe, is the tree still doomed at that point?
I mean, nothing lasts forever.
Depends on how much.
Right.
mistletoe it's
Like it's good. That tree's gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
They all will.
Yeah.
Like the rain?
I'm sorry.
Not since I've been on here.
It's
So-
got a lot of mistletoe.
But the price he talked about wasn't so much that it shocked me that I figured it'd be worth us contacting a arborist and having them give us an official quote and make a decision based on like, okay, we may be able to answer some questions about like, what kind of lifespan does that extend you,
Yeah.
We're probably not gonna guarantee anything, of course, because it's still a learning thing and they're not, they're not gardeners,
yeah.
so. But we wanted to cover that very.
Can we include this tree as well?
Maybe get
Sure.
more.
They might give us,
I mean, that's a.
Because they're gonna have a
They're gonna
list.
be here. Found that.
Yeah, they're gonna have to have a lift to do it all, so might as well use it for all the locations. That's what.
Well, when they actually do the work, yeah, when they come to quote it, they might not need to go up.
No, what would it work?
So I can, if y'all want that as the next future agenda item, I can try to get some quotes on it before.
Yeah, that'll probably be a good idea.
Okay, so tree on MDD lot, trees.
We
And
only have
parking.
one, right? Oh, tree.
Okay, this will tell you. Okay,
The building, right?
Hmm?
There's a plan to make that a building, correct?
we don't have, that's not else we're gonna talk about in the future agenda. Because that's something we need to talk about on the outside.
Yeah, and just for clarity,
Yeah, yeah, the pad site, we do need to talk about that at the next meeting and the uses of it. I do think we could possibly talk about some ideas for pop-up markets, vendors to use it. But if the smell still lingers outside like it is, it may not be a pleasant place to have a booth. So we're working on the smell of the building issue. We're trying to figure out what that source is. So that's an ongoing mysterious search. And if there's something that comes up with it, I'll email y'all to let you know, hey, we've got to fix the building and or fix this to, fix the smell. Otherwise, we're still within our budget right now with what we're spending on building. So I'll put pad site use as another agenda item for future.
Mural. Are we still pushing that?
She could have that rendering from what we discussed in October's meeting. I could probably get that out.
Examples of her mural work.
We saw, yeah, they saw it.
Well, no, she wasn't able to give us any.
Oh, she didn't have
She didn't have anything.
She's working on, if you're in downtown Denton, she's working on a mosaic on the wall that's next to the Verizon building. There's a tile mosaic she's still doing on that tall wall. It's a 2-story building. On Oak Street, West Oak Street, and that right next to that old Verizon parking lot, or GT, I call it GT.
Right next to the Carol.
West Oak across from Summit Gym. That the St. Andrew Presbyterian Church.
I like Rose.
Yeah, but on the other end of
Yeah.
the building strip, yeah, the building strip that faces Carroll. But she's working on a mosaic there. She's about to go out of the country for a couple weeks, but she has started working on that, so. But I can get with her on the revisions y'all have discussed with her.
Yeah, and she find those, like the Sandera scene or, a couple scenes that she's done.
Yeah.
She couldn't find one or.
Okay. Yeah. And then is there anything, so pad site use, mistletoe removal, mural revisions, do y'all want to have your 12-12 topics or?
It depends, if we're gonna try to do it in the fall, but it's not gonna do us a lot of good to do anything yet, because it only takes a couple of months to put it together when you start. If we're not gonna do it till spring, but one of the things I do feel like that we really need to be updated on, because I get so many questions, is how the expansion's coming on 3 over here on the highway. Yeah, where they're fixing an update on that.
Project 38.
Oh,
No.
just ours out here.
Oh, the highway.
Highway 370. Okay, I think that's really important. I have businesses asking different people,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
So you need a text dot update.
It's, yeah,
Can we
we
get
can,
that
so,
in the
yeah.
next meeting?
I have a short one now.
Oh,
Just talked,
okay.
to them today. So we are waiting for adequate plans, because we have to move water and sewer out of the way. And they said that they'll have the adequate plans April of 24.
oh, so they don't have them.
Yeah, so once we get adequate plans, then we can start design for our utilities to move out of the way, and then they'll start construction. They said typically after adequate design, it's about 12 months before they start construction. So
I mean,
April
another
of 25
25.
before they start construction.
So wait.
We can breathe for another.
So,
And I have an addition to that. And it may not be built like you would think they would start at one end. And they may start in the middle, and they may start in 3 different spots. And that's what they told us in our last meeting, just we went to. They
Because
may not,
can start there, go through Aubrey, almost to Pilot Point, then the second phase is gonna be from Pilot Point to, and then the last one went up to 82. But we're seeing them working all over the place right now with Tech Dot, and they're finishing them faster. They're hiring one contractor here, one contractor here, and that expansion on 455s like that. And it's kind of almost puts a competition in it, because you see one finishing and all of a sudden.
it'll be long enough that it'll be phased.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So do you still want another text dot update on the next, or just
I guess we
I
just
can
did.
give you that.
in our staff report? Okay, okay, so, well, what about, so I'll put project 38 on there, but what about a downtown park improvement update? Do you want to do one next month? Is that, do you have one now, or?
I don't have anything
Okay.
now. We didn't have a quorum at our parks board,
Okay.
our last parks board meeting. Yeah, we don't have anything right now.
Okay.
If
you had-
On that to make it first of the year.
We're gonna do a text doc. Can you do the outer loop update also?
I'm gonna send you the, we get every few weeks, we get an update on all tech dot projects in Denton County.
Oh, that'd be great. I'll send it to us that way.
And I'll go back and find that email and send it to you.
That's probably one question I get asked
Okay,
Thank you.
all the time.
yeah, I know, we're all on there.
You can be commissioner, that you can sign up for the county commissioner
Yeah.
updates. Or Ryan Williams, you can go to the website, sign up for his updates, and he sends one out about every 3 weeks. You get a new roadway.
Okay, so the park improvement, we'll just wait on that, but that's the text dot grant you're working on, or is that the sidewalks, is that where you're doing those?
We have several projects we're working on.
I guess I'm thinking of the sidewalk.
Yeah, so the sidewalk project is underway. That's part of removing the tank or filling it, because it's in the way of where the sidewalk will go. So once they get the samples results back of the soil and determine if the tank comes up or not, then we'll start seeing the pavement come in after Christmas.
That's cool, so you may not have to, maybe just fill it in.
Peanut festival, so right after the peanut festival and before Christmas, we should start seeing some activity there. We're trying to schedule around the events, so we don't have the park.
Well, it's early enough for Christmas tree lighting.
Yes. But that's just for the government, governor's grant. The 2019, and I think it was the 20 or 21 grant. But we also have another project that we're working on with TechStart, trying to get a grant for sidewalks from the middle school all the way up.
Did you?
Oh,
get
that's
enough
needed.
response on that?
Great.
Did you get enough response from?
We got enough support, so we're just waiting to find out if we qualify or if we were selected.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Very good.
Is anybody going to TV?
Well, no one got back to me that they could go on the Texas Municipal League conference. It was in.
That's the October.
Yeah, it was-
Good.
Are you going? No, you're doing.
You're going to TEDC.
Yeah.
And you're,
TML.
okay,
yeah,
You going also going to TML?
yeah,
Holly's going.
You're going to
yeah.
I need to register.
What days?
It's the,
I should have followed up that email.
It's a Wednesday.
4, 5, 6 October,
okay, so
but I wouldn't worry about the Friday the 6th. It's not. Are you spending the time?
Where is it located at?
it's in Dallas.
Dallas and K-Bay, that's.
At Cape Valley, that's.
Yeah. Are you
Fourth
spending
and
the night?
fifth is a week.
I think whatever I need to do.
Oh, I just wondered if you were spending the night or you just going for the day, or you
Um,
coming back the next day.
We have.
There's
decided
rooms-
to spend the-
Yeah, there's rooms at the Omni that the Omni Hotel down here.
Yeah.
At the convention center.
Yeah.
If you get on tonight, okay, go ahead and get a room.
Okay.
And then, well, no, I think I can put your room on my card. Let me do your room on my card.
Yeah, it needs to be on
Yeah,
yours.
yeah.
because of the tax and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
And then I'll get the TML registration. I'll just,
okay, I'm sorry, I should have followed up with that email.
and I'll do it at your Aubrey address, of your Aubrey. Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to get it to
Oh,
tomorrow and
right.
have her added to the TML,
That's right.
to the TML account so that she can, you have to look up your registration number first before you can.
Oh,
Register.
yeah, because I didn't register it first either. Okay,
Check it just a second
okay,
for Jenny to do it. She probably needs to do the entire thing.
right. Okay, so I was just saying, we're not automatically on there.
There's also a small town conference it's typically in May.
And that's really good. If you plan on that, the small tank, if it hits more our speed and you've got, that one is really good as well.
Yeah, and that's what I got it from anyway, it's October, November. So
Yep.
That seems fine from.
Yeah.
That's right before the end of the year freeze for us. So
Uh,
all our major network changes are October, November, especially before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
because we freeze credit card.
oh,
So all our network stuff changes October, November. So
Well, I'll definitely keep y'all posted about more to EDC and TML opportunities, so, okay.
Just, if you want to go, just get with Christine and.
Yeah, just let me
If you
know.
wanna go for the day, you can get a day pass.
Yeah.
You can just go Thursday. You can get a day pass and just go Thursday. And just spend the day.
I may have sent the link in an email to y'all, I can't remember, for TML. Otherwise, it's on their website,
He may not have been, or he probably wasn't on it because he just.
Yeah, I may not have,
Yeah.
you might have not been on there yet,
Well,
but,
we'll take that offline, I'll talk to you later tonight. Or
Yeah.
I don't know when the
Okay.
Cutoff time is.
they'll still take it. It's just the hotel you have to worry about, really.
Oh, okay. It'll give me an opportunity to kind of maybe look at the websites, what the value is.
Mhm.
If I have availability Thursday, that Wednesday the fourth. Just have to look at my thing, usually Wednesday's better.
Okay.
Just depends.
All right, so, lots of training ahead. It's gonna be a learning fall. We'll feel like we're in school again. So, I'll get that number and stuff for you all tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and try to register your rooms. Okay.
Okay, any other agenda items? I know we kind of went backwards to staff appointment. We missed one thing.
I meant to go over that, but,
Yeah, we just talked about that for a minute.
yeah.
All right. And I don't see any for executive session, anyways. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Carolyn, second by Holly at 7:24 PM. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Bye, Alicia, feel better.